Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 1 for a second semifinals, and man, is this game gonna be a treat. Spawn down here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, we have the red Protoss player, known as a literal god among some circles, but here we're just gonna call him Ting Gaming's Neeb.
And on the other side, it is our blue Terran player, beating through a bunch of Zergs, but he's against the Protoss now. It is Chairs4Gaming's RuFF.
Well, RuFF also mentioning that there's apparently a really terrible storm going on around him. And it's not just a Psy storm, it is actually like a normal storm. So if he suddenly just disappears, he's gonna be like, that's probably why. It probably lost power or like internet or something.
I've noticed that RuFF tends to have a lot of storms around him. Like, I don't know if it's... I remember him being from North Carolina, so I don't know if like North Carolina is some big storm zone or anything like that, but
yeah,
more often than not, it's like, hey guys, it's a big ass storm going on, might lose power.
Yeah, probably a little bit less common these days, just because I think Zergs are a little bit more common on the ladder these days, so you don't actually hit as many Protoss, don't see as many Psy storms.
Unfortunately.
I actually was so weirded out. Like I got a PvP. I got like 2 PvPs in a row the other day, and I was just like, is there like some Zerg convention or something that's going on, or like a Terran convention? Is there a ZVT convention happening where everyone is busy at that, and now all the Protoss are the only ones left on the ladder? I actually like.
Yeah.
I usually play like 40 or so games at least, and I don't hit Protoss. Like I will go like 30, 40 games in a row without hitting Protoss.
I think it's like certain days though. Some days of the week may just be better to play Protoss on, and then some days of the week may, it's like not a Terran day.
Yeah, like weekends.
Because a lot of the times I'll have... Yeah.
Protoss are all like part-time. That's all they have to do because they're easy to race, right?
Yeah. It's like, well, I guess might as well. Let's do a little bit of Protoss in today.
Cool. Talking about Protoss, we do have Twilight Council coming out as well as a Proxy Pylon. Proxy Pylon is definitely much less common these days. And I want to note something. I'm going to take a look at RuFF's vision really quickly, but I haven't actually seen it yet. Throughout this entire day, RuFF is not scouted. And what a surprise, RuFF is not scouted again. So
no, you're right.
He's going to be totally in the dark about this.
And Neeb is just going right on in here. Going to start the series off with the bang. Already, like a very, very quick blink opener here. And RuFF doing a similar build, at least in terms of upgrades, to what he did to Solo off of 1 base. This time off of 2 bases. And what does Neeb read when he does see that scout? He sees a Widow Mine. Is that... No, he saw the Marines. What up?
Okay. Well, there's going to be a Raven Maid. That's interesting. I guess...
Yeah, it is.
Did he scan? No.
I think it's just a rough thing.
Yeah, that just might be kind of his plan. That with mag field acceleration, I don't really know what to think about this. So, kind of interesting note: Blink does not break the Cyclone lock-ons, and any Protoss players in the early beta days of Legacy of the Void definitely know that. They're painfully aware of that fact. But that does mean that Cyclones may not be the worst thing to go for against Blink Stalkers, because it kind of negates a lot of the advantage of like that blinking back micro, just because as long as RuFF still has vision of the Stalker, he's still going to continue hitting it. It's not just going to be returning with lower shields, it's actually going to die because it just has such a ridiculous range.
Yeah. Ooh. And RuFF may be getting a bit of lag here, but
it's not me. I have 20 ping.
I know, right? I'm good. That storm that was in here, or that was here, well, literally in here earlier, has since passed. Don't have to worry about that anymore. Dude, I was like, dude, I'm gonna get flooded in.
So like, I hear all these stories about people who are like, oh yeah, tornado warning alerts, they aren't actually a big deal. Is it a big deal on the East Coast? Like if there's a tornado warning alert?
Not for me. Okay. Like in the Northeast, we don't really get tornadoes. It's more about the winters that are annoying.
No, I won't say anything. I was almost typing out. I was like, how did you know he went 1 base storm?
If he did. if he did.
All right. Well, the barracks might actually catch some of these stalkers as they're making way down from the proxy pylon. No, they're just barely going to be out of range of it.
Oh,
these stalkers making their way
good.
across the map, though, will definitely be scouted.
Yeah, and RuFF is only now setting up his production. So, yeah, he's going to have the Raven for point defense drone and 1 Cyclone. 2.
Well, 2 Cyclones.
He's going to have to deal with a gigantic blink attack, and I don't know if he has enough.
He just doesn't have the DPS.
Yeah.
Like, they'll blink on top of him, and yeah, they just kill him off. Like, I think RuFF just dies. He had 3 factories going up.
GG.
Okay. Well,
sometimes it's like the caster tendency to be like, I don't know if he has enough. I looked at that, I'm like, nah, he dead.
I was like,
there go that boy, and he dead now.
Yeah, that was so this is what we were talking about, right? Where it's like Neeb is such a solid player, like he just doesn't give his opponents a lot of room to make mistakes or like to play a little bit too greedy. So if he just senses like a little bit of vulnerability, he's gonna be like, well, I'm just gonna go kill you now. Like, you might be doing something funky. If this game went on for another like 2 minutes, you'd probably have something really weird that I have to deal with. So I'm just not gonna let you. I'm just not gonna let you get there.
Exactly. Yeah, that was a very straightforward blink attack, and it's one of the things where I think you said RuFF hasn't scouted at all during the series, and he didn't scout that time either. You see that coming. You're making bunkers in locations where they're going to be blinking, and then you're starting to get a few tanks and maybe even the medevac, which is, I think, a very important part now in Legacy of the Void.
I mean, honestly, like, I would even be thinking about like, maybe I should get like a cloak. Maybe I should get like cloak and a banshee, like literally something to defend. That Raven, by the way, didn't do anything.
The Raven didn't do anything. No.
I don't even like.
Like, all right.
I mean,
this big push at about 7 minutes.
Great. Like, I'll make this push in. I'll have this really nice setup and everything. I was like, no, it's not gonna happen. I don't know. Like maybe just letting a scan go by or something. Like if he's not gonna do any scouting early on, it's so hard because I'm sure that also like there are very, very specific timings that he's trying to hit where even like the small little piece of like, an SCV not scouting or like not mining for a little while is going to delay his build, which is going to miss his timing or like delay it by like another 10-15 seconds, and that will give enough time for such and such. Like that's the kind of build orders that RuFF makes. So I don't really disagree with the idea of like not scouting entirely, but at least throw down a scan. Like you got to be somewhat prepared for something.
Yeah, and I know even like some. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, we'll hop into it and talk about whatever you're going to say in a second. We're moving on to Frozen Temple. We'll see you guys there.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are in game number 2, and we're going to be spawning up here on the top left-hand corner of the map. The red Terran player from Chairs4Gaming. Give it up for RuFF.
And on the other side, representing Ting and NA as well, it is Neeb, the blue Protoss player.
Man, I mean, Neeb definitely showed some dominating performance in that last game, and I think you were saying, like, everyone's just afraid of him.
Yeah, they have every right to be, but it's like, he seriously has become that, quote, Korean player in the bracket that everyone's like, oh man, is that like, I guess now Hydra in NA, but like before where like, any random Korean would like join in and it's like, oh God, I'm in the same bracket as, so-and-so.
Yeah. I mean, like the thing that would remind me of is like back when WCS like 2014 was around or 2013, and it'd be like, oh, Jaedong's here. Cool, I'm on the same side of the bracket as Jaedong.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Well,
right?
it was a good run. It's like, here's your first
I guess
round
I
match.
could
It's like,
hear
it was a
that.
good run.
It was a great run, yeah. That first 7 minutes was awesome. I think I executed the build that I wanted to do, got my second expansion up.
I was really quick on those vetoes and everything, I was very efficient about them.
I was very decisive about them, you know.
Well, we already got a double factory opening over here from RuFF, so mixing it up very early on. And I guess I'll note that Neeb did go for the early scout. He saw the first factory even plop down, so he knows this is a one-base build. This Adept is going to lock on and see, hey, guess what? There's a Cyclone locking on to me. And he's probably may end up losing that Adept.
I think, yeah, you might actually be right. It's gonna just pop out, and I wonder. Yeah, he's gonna just do the shade. That's actually smart here.
I think he saw the cyclone. I'm pretty sure it was
the
his
second
vision.
factory though. Oh, he saw everything.
Yeah. Well,
well, he knows what's up, but does he know what's up?
cards on the
Like,
table.
What it is?
I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, even if you see the cyclone, you don't necessarily know what RuFF is gonna do because it's rough. We do have a Robox Lily going down, which I think is just a smart decision. Like, get up. I mean, the big question is, with this Robox Lily, after seeing like the factories, do you make an observer or do you make an immortal?
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's like more
think-
cyclones, you want immortal. But
Yeah.
if it's a Widow Mines, you want an observer.
Yeah, it's kind of like those things to note too. And the thing about Widow Mines as well is that you can kind of see them coming and try to poke them and make them burrow a bit earlier than they want to. But if you simply, oh my god, are you kidding me? Okay. Now this is actually pretty cool.
It's even like
I
a
feel like
Marauder.
if it was like Zealots, but I mean, hey man, he's gonna lose it actually.
Yeah, I mean, he loses the mothership
He lost the
core.
mothership core.
He lost the
Yeah.
mothership core. There's a tech lab building on this barracks now. Okay, the Immortal should be able to deal with this. Marauder gets taken out very quickly. Even the Cyclone gonna be under attack. Oh my god, those Cyclones deal so much damage with the Mag Accelerator. They take out the Immortal
Yeah.
in no time.
Yeah, they just absolutely wreck Immortals here. And now those Adepts getting targeted down. He did lose vision on them, so he does not kill them. But here goes another lock on those Stalkers. But Neeb, remember, this is kind of like the solo game, you know? Targeting down those Cyclones, making sure they never get to a high enough number. But he's lost a lot. You cannot deny the fact that Neeb lost a lot here.
Oh, if he can keep this Warp Prism alive, that changes everything, because that Warp Prism will be able to pick up any Stalkers that get locked on. Look, immediately, now the Cyclones have to wait another like 4 or 5 seconds before they can attack again and
Oh,
lock
that is
on.
so smart.
Oh, but he needs to
And
make
this
sure
is the
that
kind of
Warp
player that
Prism doesn't
Neeb
get
is.
locked on. It get locked on. Guys, immediately.
Okay.
Why is this barrack still trying to build a tech lab?
He really wants to get Concussive Shell, apparently. But honestly, after losing another one of the Cyclones,
I
the
think he's
economy
lost
in
too
Neeb
much.
is a little bit too strong. Yep. Good micro by Neeb, by the way, too.
Well, Adepts are going to clean that up, and there's not a whole lot left. I mean, there's one last Cyclone left over. It may even be able to kill the Immortal, but no. Loses the vision, even if it has that lock-on. But behind this, there is an Astral Expansion trying to go up for RuFF, but he's sitting at nearly half the worker count. And I guess he did finish up that tech lab eventually.
Hey, it shows anything is possible if you believe in yourself. But
Didn't quite buy enough time for concussive shells.
Oh, maybe next time.
He doesn't even have a barracks anymore. Like, he can't actually produce Marines or anything like that.
No, he has to make another one at home. And now Neeb is coming across the map. He has a pretty
Okay.
formidable. Say formidable force.
The problem is the Adepts will just run him down.
Yeah, just getting over in range of them. He might even just wait here. Honestly, Neeb doesn't have to attack, but I bet he wants to get something done. And that was the reason why he made the Warp Prism, because instead of busting up the front, just go ahead and mess around with RuFF. Try to get some good damage done. See what's going on too, the Scout. What's next? Oh, I like that. Letting it finish and just picking off one.
Yeah, that's all he needs to do. He can trade out Adepts versus Cyclones all day long because he's got an economy behind this. If as long as he continues to push across the map, the natural expansion is not going to be able to land while he gets his third expansion up. I will also note Robox Lily just continuing to pump out more and more of these Immortals. I would love to see RuFF maybe start going for like some Widow Mines over here. Widow Mines versus a large Adept army, Immortals, and really no detection could actually work out relatively well.
Yeah, and Neeb already just, you know, trying to look at this micro, pulling back the weakened and locked on units while still doing damage and taking a third is just, he's trying to propel himself leagues ahead here in the economy while still keeping the Cyclone count to a manageable number.
Yeah, I mean, RuFF isn't even mining with all of his workers. He's actually using some of them just to repair up these Cyclones, and he was doing that earlier on as well. So his economy just straight up isn't there. He's actually has all these factories and everything. He can only produce one Cyclone at a time for the most part, even though he has 3 of them.
Yeah, it's just, if everything is going into Cyclones, then it really limits him from doing anything else Like he can't really get upgrades, obviously. Making even any kind of transition. I don't know if there's any transition out. I think he just goes for the mass cyclone and hopes that it works.
Bad rally point? No. He's actually just bringing his workers over there to the cyclones consistently because he's afraid about just dying. Unfortunately, the warp prism is going to move into the main base, so the cyclones are actually going to be in the wrong spot to deal with this.
Yeah, there's nothing here at all. 2 Widow Mines are going to go and at least get a chance to burrow.
Well, locks onto the warp prism. Smart idea, and does actually get that. You know, these adepts are going to go down relatively quickly, but 6 workers, almost a sixth of the economy for RuFF right now.
Yeah, I mean, RuFF can't really afford to be losing this much.
Oh, God.
He's already lost 13 now. And
I think even 1 or 2 of these adepts
simple
are
fact is he can afford to do it.
Yeah.
Neeb.
Well, here we go. This is the final kind of engagement, and I've got to say, it's not looking very close right now. He even throws up the Guardian Shield to try and absorb the damage. I don't actually think Guardian Shield helps versus that because it's a spell.
I'm not sure.
Well, it sounds like a useless effect.
Yeah.
Well.
Good force field, but there is a hole there that they can slide through. It just seems to be a little bit too much here, though. Neeb is just going to power on through here, and I think he's going to be making that finals like a lot of us expected him to do so. GG.
Neeb walks away with a 2-0 victory and not falling prey to any of RuFF's shenanigans, and gets a very clean victory.
Yeah.
Moves on to the grand
finals. Very good way to put it, clean. I mean, okay, I guess maybe losing the mothership core was like one of those things where you don't want to happen, but...
Okay, so like... Why? Okay, I understand landing the barracks over there was really cute. It blocked off a lot of the space. It probably absorbed a couple of hits and everything. They're like, Photon Overcharge to focus on the barracks instead of the units occasionally when they were on the retreat. Why did he need to build the tech lab there? Like, I almost just feel like making Marines from that barracks would have been more effective. Right?
It might make Zealots a bit less effective, but Neeb was only making Adepts at that point and Stalkers. So I don't think it really did too much there. And if he wanted to pull probes, Neeb would have had to go on the top. Those are the only things I can really think of. But yeah, man. The concussive shell was what got me. I'm like, I guess he really wants concussive. Right?
I mean, I guess he took out the mothership core, so he was like, well, you can't photon overcharge to take this out anymore. Like, I can do this. Like, I mean, I suppose that's technically a possibility.
It's like the new Motor Mule. You just land a barracks and build a tech lab and get concussive shell. It's like,
except the overly early Manor Mule by a large margin.
It's like when you scout with your first SCV, you get your orbital command and you just drop a mule at their base. Like, yeah, suck it.
Yeah, suck it. Oh god. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be hopping into our grand finals, but before that, we're going to go to a short little break before we go into game time versus Neeb. So we'll see you guys in just a little bit.